Welcome everybody to Intensity Broadcasting. My name's Josh Hall. This is the Doghouse Racing League Tuesday Night Truck Series here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway on iRacing. We're getting ready for week number 2. Last week was a little bit of a throwaway week. iRacing had a big patch that they put out, so to be safe, because they weren't sure what the trucks were going to do with the new setups, they just wanted to delay a week. But we are back. We are ready for some racing here in Sin City. Okay, I want to thank everybody for joining us here tonight, whether you're watching on Facebook, on YouTube, or Twitch. Don't forget to hit that like button, follow, and subscribe. Let us know who you're pulling for today as we got the chat open. Whether, again, you're watching on any of the 3 platforms, the chat is open for you here tonight. Currently, Christopher Leftwich at the top of the board. Mike Leftwich sitting in second. Ricky Hudges in third. Jeremiah Stutzman and Kevin Brown, your top 5. Let's take a look at the points coming into tonight. We see Jonathan Jennings currently at the top of the board. Jeff Wimmer back in second. Ricky Hudges, Jason Miz, and Jeremiah Stutzman round out your top 5 in the points. 6 is Steve Gerber, Kevin O'Powell, Hunter Simpson, Mike Sema, and Daniel Wilkerson, your top 10. You can see where your favorite driver is in the point standings. And we're getting ready for 64 laps around this really fun little D-shaped oval. A lot of character this track has. As we let's ride along here with one of our drivers. Let's see who we can find here. We got Ricky Hudges side by side right now with a couple drivers there door to door. But as you come off of turn number 2, you got this long back straightaway. It's really easy, as you saw right there, get loose because there's a little bump. As you come down into turn number 3, there's some heavy bumps down on the bottom of the track. Sometimes it causes the trucks to wash up the track as they come down the front stretch. You can go all the way down onto the apron. You can stay up against the wall. This track is wide enough to run many different lines. As you come down into turn 1 here, you see the bumps that Hudges has to deal with coming through turns 1 and 2. The middle lane, or the high lane, is the preferred line through turns 1 and 2. And then as you come down into turn number 3, again, those bumps up on the high side, you'll see that is the 8 up on the high side of Steve Gerber, navigating those bumps as they make their way around this half mile or 1.5 mile track. Let's take a look at the race info here. We see Las Vegas Motor Speedway just over 1.5 miles. Track temperature is 97 degrees. That's going to make this track awfully slick. The air temperature is 65 degrees. A little bit of humidity out here in the desert. You don't expect to see too much humidity, so 22%. These trucks are going to be nice and fast here tonight as we get ready for 64 laps here, 74 laps here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. About a minute left here in practice. Again, Chris Leftwich currently the fastest driver out on track. He continues to circulate this track and show what kind of speed he has here tonight. Of course, as always, after this one, we will have the SCSRA Truck Series, Morse Customs Truck Series, taking on Richmond Speedway tonight in their first race of their playoffs. So you're not going to want to miss that if you're a fan of short track racing. And our truck doubleheader, tune in right after this one. We've got about 10 seconds left here in practice before we get qualifying underway. Of course, as always, we want to thank all of our great partners here at Intensity Broadcasting, including Race EPI for all your iRacing setups and coaching needs. Visit raceepi.com. Of course, also you can support us by visiting our web store at intensitybroadcasting.com. You can find hats, t-shirts, novelty t-shirts, coffee mugs, mouse pads. We've got it all there, so check out intensitybroadcasting.com. The link is down in the description. And as always, our great partner over at the Butt Kicker. Of course, Butt Kicker is a well-known and established leader in gaming haptics. The award-winning line of Butt Kicker products lets users feel low-frequency sounds. Their products are used and endorsed around the world by leading PC and console gamers, including professional sim racers. Patented design makes them incredibly accurate, powerful, and virtually indestructible. The Gamer Plus is the upgraded sim racing haptic that reproduces immersive, accurate, and powerful sim racing, flight sim, and gaming effects. To check out the full line of Butt Kicker products and figure out which one's right for you, visit thebuttkicker.com. Of course, I have the Gamer Plus. It's something that I rely on now, is a little bit of seat of the pants feel that you normally don't get from just sim racing alone. As you see Chris Leftwich coming down to the stripe to start his qualifying attempt. Of course, I had my sister this weekend, who's not a sim racer. Didn't even tell her about the Butt Kicker. Had her jump in my rig, run some laps, and she thought that was probably one of the coolest things that she's ever experienced in a video game. So definitely highly recommend. Gary Mio up to the top of the board. Jonathan Jennings currently second. Christopher Simon, though, jumps up to the top of the leaderboard. Chris Leftwich currently in fifth, as we see Simon making his way down the backstretch. Running kind of the middle of the track, these drivers will be able to keep these trucks pretty much wide open on fresh tires. Mike Sema goes currently top of the board as Simon's coming down to the stripe. Jennings is going to go top of the leaderboard. Christopher Simon jumps up to second. Here comes Mike Leftwich down across the stripe. He's going to go P5. Chris Leftwich going to stay in that second position. See Michael Dow now coming down the backstretch in that Gatorade machine. Down across the stripe. And he goes up to P3. Here's the 10 of Ricky Williams. Coming around through turns 3 and 4 and down to the stripe. And Ricky Williams is going to stay up in that 15th position. Daniel Wilkerson just went P3 on his qualifying attempt. So amazing lap for that 78 machine up into the top 5. Here comes the 8 of Steve Gerber down to the stripe. Gerber knocks Daniel Wilkerson back a spot into the 4th position as he takes over the 3rd spot. Here's the 33 of Kevin Brown. And Brown is going to go P4 on his lap. Here's the 73 of Jeffrey Wimmer coming across the stripe. Is he going to knock Daniel Wilkerson out of the top 5? He is not. He's going to be in the 14th position. One driver left to qualify. That's the 71, Jeremiah Stutzman. I don't think he's going to have enough time to get a lap in. he will be able to get his qualifying attempt in here with just 18 seconds to go. Down across the stripe. And Stutzman is going to go P6. That's going to do it for qualifying here. Just one truck not qualifying. Going to start at the back of the pack. And that is the 54 of Todd Neese. So let's take a look at our starting grid here tonight. And on pole is the 91 of Jonathan Jennings. Chris Leftwich to his outside in position number 2. Steve Gerber rolls off from the 3rd position with Kevin Brown in 4th and Daniel Wilkerson making up your top 5. Jeremiah Stutzman back in the 6th spot with Michael Dow in 7th and Christopher Simon rolling off from the 8th spot. Rounding out your top 10 will be the 94 of Tyler Mollett and Mike Sema in the 44. Row 6 will find Adam Gardner and Mike Leftwich. Row 7 will be Gary Clune and Justin McMahon. Jeffrey Wimmer rolls off from the 15th position with Gary Armio in the 16th spot. Then Kevin Powell back in 17th. Ricky Hudges in 18th. Ricky Williams in 19th. And Todd Neese rounding out the field here tonight in the 20th position. See the trucks lining up here on the front stretch, getting ready to go racing for 74 laps here in Sin City. And again, we want to thank everybody who's joined us here tonight. Again, whether you're watching on Facebook, on YouTube, or on Twitch, we do appreciate you joining us. And of course, don't forget to hit that like button, follow, and subscribe. Let us know who you're pulling for here tonight as we get ready for 74 laps. We're just waiting for the rest of the field to get lined up here on the front stretch before they start rolling off and getting ready to do battle here. Of course, next week, don't forget to join us for race number 3 at Phoenix. Then we'll roll on to Atlanta Motor Speedway and Iowa Speedway before the April 11th break. So as always, some great racing coming up over the next few weeks. Field making their way down the backstretch, getting ready to do battle in the desert. Jonathan Jennings is going to lead them down to the starting zone. See if Chris Leftwich is able to hang tight with him here. As the pace car gets ready to take that hard left-hand turn on the pit road. Green flag is in the air. We are racing here at Las Vegas, side by side. Great start for Chris Leftwich. Not a great start for the 33 of Kevin Brown. He falls way back, loses a position to Steve Gerber, who's fighting up here now for a top 3 position. He gets pitched down, and here comes Chris Leftwich up on that high lane, trying to get the run to make a move on the 91. Jonathan Jennings, we know Jennings is awfully strong on these mile-and-a-half tracks. Daniel Wilkerson taking a look down underneath the 33 as Leftwich tucks it in there for a second between Gerber and Jennings, then moves back up to the high side. Tries to use that high lane momentum to get around that 91 machine. He's going to inch out in front of Jennings off of turn number 2, and he's going to pass and take over the lead as they go down into turns 3 and 4. How about that? Christopher Leftwich up to the point. A little further back, we got a side-by-side battle between Mike Sema and the 33 of Kevin Brown. Sema's going to take over that position. Here comes Christopher Simon trying to cover that spot now on the low side, along with Mike Leftwich right behind. As that 33 of Brown continues on a backward slide. Says that truck's for sale. Not a way to try to sell that truck if it's going backwards. As here comes Mike Leftwich down to the inside to take over the 7th position. Back up front, Jonathan Jennings right there on the back bumper. He's getting a little challenge though from the 8 of Steve Gerber as they come through turns 3 and 4. As we see that 91 machine take a look down underneath Chris Leftwich, trying to take over that top spot yet again. He's got a little bit of help from behind as the draft does come into play here. These drivers are almost wide open all the way around the track. And Jennings is going to take over that top spot. And here comes Gerber taking a look down to the inside of Chris Leftwich as we work lap number 6. The 44, Mike Sema right there as well, trying to work his way up into the mix. Thought about taking a look up to the high side. He's going to stay down on the low side. Right along here with the 44 of Sema. You hear just how much these drivers are on the throttle. Just a little blip there to set the front end. Pretty much wide open all the way around as here comes Chris Leftwich taking another look to the inside. And he's going to retake the lead away from Jonathan Jennings. Well, Mike Sema has the nose, has side by side with Steve Gerber as they're door to door through turns 1 and 2. Almost gotten around the 8 machine. Mike Sema so far our biggest mover of the race, up into the 3rd position, up 7 spots. Next biggest mover, as he has cleared Steve Gerber, our next biggest mover is the 55 of Ricky Hudges as he's pushing that 71 of Stutzman around. Right there on the back bumper, up 6 spots into the 12th position, trying to get themselves up into the top 10. Justin McMahon, another big mover here, 5 positions since the drop of the green flag. Currently up into the 9th position and continuing his run forward as he's going to take a look up to the high side of Mike Leftwich. He's going to try to push that 94 of Tyler Millette forward as well. Back up front, Jonathan Jennings right there on the back bumper of Chris Leftwich, and this time he's going to take a look up to the high side. Oh, a little contact there between Jennings and Leftwich. Both drivers able to keep it going straight. Here comes Jennings back down to the inside, trying to make another move. And they're door to door, side by side. Little contact between Jennings and Leftwich. That gets Leftwich way out of shape as he pushes up the track. That opens the door for the 44 SEMA, who's going to take a look down to the inside. Here comes Steve Gerber as well. Looks like there might be a little bit of damage on the left front of that 13 machine. I'll take that back. That looks pretty clean to me, so looks like he'll be able to continue on without problem. As Mike SEMA now trying to take a look to the inside, trying to take the lead here as one car bounces off the wall. That might have been Leftwich just making a little contact with the wall. You see Leftwich starting to fall back just a little bit. Yeah, you see the scrape on the right side of that truck. That is going to kill that momentum that he had. All that aerodynamic damage on the right side of that truck is going to slow down that truck tremendously. Back up front, though, the battle for the lead continues between Jonathan Jennings and Mike SEMA. Steve Gerber right here waiting in the wings as well. And how about Justin McMahon cracking the top 5, making his way around Daniel Wilkerson? Now he's trying to work his way around the 13 of Leftwich, as these two continue to race side by side. I'll tell you what, Steve Gerber has the best seat in the house for this show, as now he's working up to the high side of SEMA, trying to take over that second position, but both drivers now have a mirror full of the 20 of McMahon. So we know they are going to have to pit twice. I imagine our pit window will be somewhere between lap 25 and 29. Unless somebody tries to gamble here in Las Vegas and make it a one-stop race. Right now, Jonathan Jennings has the lead yet again, and he's pulling away from the 8 of Steve Gerber. A little further back, we see Adam Gardner battling side by side with Chris Leftwich, as that 13 machine, as we mentioned, with that right side damage, starting to fall backwards, does not have the speed that he was showing earlier. Here comes Adam down to the inside. Gardner's going to take that position away. And just behind, we see this gaggle of cars led by Tyler Millette. Christopher Simon taking a look down to the inside. We see Ricky Hudges, Kevin Powell back here as well. As Justin McMahon is now all over the back bumper of Steve Gerber. Now that the tires are starting to wear off, you're hearing these drivers really starting to lift, getting out of the corner. Again, it's not a big lift, it's just enough to kind of set the nose and slow these trucks down just a little bit. You'll hear them just come off throttle just barely. What that's doing also is that's burning a ton of gas. These drivers are not able to save fuel like you would at a normal mile and a half. A track like Chicago or even Michigan or California, where you're off the throttle for so long, you're able to save a little bit of fuel. These drivers are not able to do that here tonight. That's going to play into the strategy of some of these drivers as well, because drivers like Jonathan Jennings running out front right now, he's burning all the fuel, putting up pushing the air around for all the drivers behind him. Steve Gerber is going to be burning a little bit more gas than Justin McMahon, who's tucked in behind him, along with Mike Seema and Daniel Wilkerson, playing the fuel-saving game, running back in that draft. So we'll see if that comes into play. Again, I figure pit stops will be somewhere between lap 25 and 30. Stutzman up on that high side, trying to get back around Christopher Simon. Looks like our first taker down on the pit road is the 22 of Armijo. And a lot of damage to the right side of that truck. Tells me he's been up into the wall. That's forced him on the pit road, trying to get 4 tires fuel and also try to get a little bit of damage fixed if he can. Wide down into turn number 1. And you saw Kevin Powell down on the inside and lost a ton of time trying to back out of that 3 wide racing. That allowed Ricky Hudges up 11 spots up into the 7th spot. As here comes Steve Gerber and Justin McMahon on the pit road. So these 2 drivers are first leaders on the pit road, right on lap 25. So Kevin Powell also on the pit road. Also, the tires are going to be a premium here, as we've already seen times drop off almost 2 seconds on old tires. As here comes Jonathan Jennings. And this is Mike Seema, and look at all the drivers coming down on the pit road. Almost the entire front of the field just came down on the pit road. You can see just how much better Jonathan Jennings got on the pit road than everybody else. If he can hit his stall here, and he's got plenty of breathing room, get on and off of pit road quickly. See Adam Gardner just making his way now. He's going to peel down on the pit road. He's going to leave Stutzman out front. Jennings down and away, going to win that race off pit road. There's Mike Seema. Tyler Millette. It looks like Stutzman might be coming down pit road this time. Makes his way down on the pit road along with Todd Neese. That's going to put Ricky Williams, the only driver left the pit. Trying to get a bonus point for leading a lap, as it looks like we just saw Gary Clune have some issues. He's spun down to the inside of the track. Fortunately off the track, so no caution. He's able to get that truck back rolling. We're going to take a quick look to see what happened to the 11 coming off of pit road. Oh, this is so easy to do on cold tires. Trying to accelerate, get back up the speed, and just loses the back end. Just barely catching the inside wall. Doesn't look like it was enough to really do any damage. Now Ricky Williams is down on pit road. That's going to give the lead back to Jonathan Jennings, but right there on the back bumper is the 20 of McMahon and the 8 of Steve Gerber. So what was a great pit entry. He had a ton of time on pit road, or getting onto pit road. Didn't translate onto the track, as now Gerber and McMahon are right there on the back bumper. You got to go back almost 2.5 seconds to find the 56 of Adam Gardner, who runs back in the 4th position. Now McMahon's moved around Jennings up into that top spot. Maybe a little bit of strategy for Jennings, trying to save a little bit of fuel here. He's in the draft of the 20. We see that 11 of Garrett Clune still on pit road, so I think he had a little bit more damage to that machine than I thought he did. Only 2 cars off the lead lap. That is the 11 of Clune, who is still on pit road, and the 22 of Mio, who is down 1 lap. Chris Leftwich, who was having such a great run earlier, looks like he might have stayed on pit road to get that damage fixed up, because he is currently in jeopardy of going a lap down. See him just coming across the stripe there. And here's our leaders coming through turns 3 and 4. And now Clune makes his way off of pit road. I believe he's currently being scored 5 laps down. The second group of trucks here in line doing a little drafting, and they're gaining on the 56 of Gardner. So you see him out leading this group, and right now they are circulating the track about 0.3 of a second quicker, running in that little draft. See Christopher Simon trying to get around Kevin Brown. We're just a couple laps away from halfway. Of course, as I mentioned, there will be one more set of pit stops. Do you come in on lap 50? Do you try to short pit here and cut this last segment in half? And the Doghouse Racing League is known for not having cautions. So right now, these drivers crunching the numbers, trying to figure out which strategy is going to be best for them. Jeremiah Stutzman, and that is the 55 of Ricky Hudges. Daniel Wilkerson right here in this mix as well. Jennings now right back on the back bumper of McMahon, trying to see if he can take a look down and try to make a pass here, but he's going to stay tucked in line behind that 20 machine. I think he's content right now saving fuel behind that 20, because the more fuel he's able to save on this run, the less fuel he'll have to take on his final stop. And I believe these drivers are saving a bit of fuel, because last time by, the leader, Jess McMahon, ran a 31.37. Fourth place, Adam Gardner, running by himself here. He's running these drivers down. He just ran a 31.14, which tells me that those 3 trucks up front are saving a little bit of fuel. Right around with Justin McMahon here. And we hear a much bigger and softer lift out of McMahon than we had out of any other drivers earlier. It's right along with Adam Gardner. Let's listen to his truck, see how much he's lifting here into the corner. He's really not lifted much at all, so that's why between that and the draft, he's able to pull up on this group of trucks. He's trying to join the battle here for the lead. See if he can get himself a win here tonight in the Doghouse Racing League. Tyler Millette, Christopher Simon side by side. Simon's going to take over that spot. Here comes Mike Leftwich. Following Simon right on through. It's going to move Tyler Millette back into the 10th position. And as I say that, Millette fires off on the high side and stays out in front of Mike Leftwich. So he's going to hold on to that 9th position. A little further back, we see Stutzman trying to make a move on Hudges. And it looks like we are going to be about 5 or so laps from pitting. Have to see who our first takers are going to be down on the pit road. And Adam Gardner is there. We see him right there on the back bumper of Gerber as Gerber's fallen back a little bit off this group. Thought maybe he was thinking about hitting a little bit earlier, but he's going to stay tucked right with Adam Gardner. Then you got to go all the way back 3 seconds to 5th place. Mike Sema, who's got a little bit of a lead over Kevin Powell. It's our 2 leaders, Justin McMahon and Jonathan Jennings, coming across the stripe as we work lap number 45 of 74. Again, don't forget to join us after this one's over for the SCSRA Morris Customs Truck Series as they take on Richmond Raceway, or Richmond International Raceway, in their first race of their chase for their championship. Gardner was going to take a look at it. He's going to make a move around the 8 of Steve Gerber. Tells me Steve is trying to save as much fuel as he can. But at what cost? As he's starting to fall off of our front 2 drivers. He's going to tuck in behind Adam Gardner. We see Kevin Brown and Kevin Powell side by side. The battle for the 6th position, and right behind we see Christopher Simon trying to work his way up here as well. And Brown's going to solidly move himself up into the 6th position. Gardner continues to try to run down our leaders. As our leaders come across the strike here to start lap 49. Should see some pit stops starting up pretty soon. As next time by, we'll have just 25 laps to go. farthest we've seen any driver go on fuel was 28 laps with Ricky Williams. So 27 laps was the farthest we saw Jeremiah Stutzman and Todd Nisko. As here comes our first drivers down on the pit road. That's Adam Gardner and Steve Gerber. Mike Sema, Kevin Powell on pit road as well. I imagine that is going to lure these leaders on the pit road as well. Looks like McMahon and Jennings are going to stay out at least one more lap. Here's Christopher Simon coming down on the pit road. Ricky Hudge is on pit road as well. Daniel Wilkerson. Here comes our leaders down on the pit road. McMahon and Jennings both on pit road. That's going to give the lead to the 33 of Kevin Powell. I'm sorry, Kevin Brown. Looks like Brown's coming down on the pit road this time. So Stutzman's going to take over the lead. Also on pit road, the 94 of Millette, Todd Neese, Jeffrey Wimmer on pit road. Chris Leftwich also on pit road. So Stutzman, Williams, and Dow are three drivers left to pit. We see Adam Gardner trying to get around the 71, get his lap back, and he will. So when everything cycles around, Adam Gardner will be your leader. We see Jonathan Jennings working around the lap traffic. He is just over 2 seconds behind that 56 of Gardner, but he's got some help from behind. A little drafting help from the 20 of McMahon. Michael Dow on pit road as Gardner continues to circulate the track in what will be the lead when our other two drivers come down pit road. That's Stutzman and Ricky Williams. Here goes Jonathan Jennings and Justin McMahon around Stutzman, getting their lap back, putting themselves back on the lead lap. So as we run now, just 5 trucks on the lead lap as the 71 comes down pit road, and Ricky Williams is going to stay out at least one more lap here. I imagine Williams will be coming down pit road this time by. Last time he went to lap 28. And here he comes down onto pit road. So that is going to do it for pit stops. And Adam Gardner is going to take over the lead by just under 2 seconds over second place Jonathan Jennings. As Jennings and McMahon continue to draft with each other, trying to get back up to the 56 of Adam Gardner. A little further back. See a little battle shaping up here between Kevin Powell and Christopher Simon. They run up on the back of Mike Sema. See that 22 of Armio up on the high side, staying out of the way of these drivers as they go right on by. minus a couple drivers, things starting to really spread out after this last round of pit stops. We see McMahon all over the back bumper of that 91 trying to push themselves forward. Saw him get a little out of shape there behind that 91 machine as well. We're right along here with Jennings. McMahon almost getting that back bumper, almost trying to give him a shove down into the corner. And you can definitely push, but it has to be down the straightaways as Adam Gardner comes across the stripe. Just 15 laps to go. Jennings and McMahon have not really eaten into that lead. A few laps ago, it was 1.9. Now it's down to 1.7. Last time by, Adam Gardner ran a 31.23. Jonathan Jennings ran a 21. McMahon ran a 20. So pretty even pace between our top three right now. Does Jennings and McMahon have anything? Can they turn up the gas? See if they can run down that that 56 of Gardner. Further back, we see Brown working down underneath Hudges, trying to pull the 94 of Millette along as well. These boys have been side drafting on each other, almost a little out of shape a moment ago, and that could have changed the entire complexity of the race if a caution was to come out. So far, everybody's able to keep it straight. As Jonathan Jennings is now eaten into Adam Gardner's lead, it's now down to 1.3 seconds. You see Gardner has slowed down about a tenth each lap. Jennings has been about a tenth quicker. You can see that. See what happens at this time by. Again, Jennings just over a tenth quicker. Almost over a tenth and a half quicker. So with just 11 laps to go, and being almost a second behind, looks like he might be able to catch Gardner. But it's one thing to catch a driver, it's another thing to pass him, as we are coming to 10 laps to go. And this is about to be exciting. Coming down to the line, Jonathan Jennings trying to run down that 56. McMahon trying to push that 91 along, but McMahon also wants to get the win here himself. We'll have to see if McMahon decides to make a move to advance his position a spot, or if he's going to help Jonathan Jennings get the lead away from Adam Gardner. 9 laps to go, 9/10 of a second separate the top two. And all Adam Gardner can do right now is just run his race, run his line, and try to make that truck as wide as he can to keep that 91 of Jonathan Jennings behind him. Just 8 laps to go. And Jennings is eating into it now. It's 0.7 behind. So Jonathan Jennings is definitely going to catch that 56 machine. The only question is, will he be able to pass that 56 machine? You see how close they're getting. both Jennings and McMahon. You see them both in the same camera shot now as the 56 of Gardner with just 6 laps to go. Apologize, 7 laps to go. And a half a second separates our leaders. Gardner might be trying to save a little something here as well, try to save some tires as Jennings is running him down so that he can try to defend this top spot. But coming to 6 laps to go, the interval is 0.3 of a second. Just 3 car lengths separate our top 2. Gardner runs that little higher line in, cuts it down to the bottom, trying to keep his momentum down off the corner. Jennings, though, has that help from behind as McMahon is given the push down into turn number 3. Jonathan Jennings has caught Adam Gardner now with just 5 laps to go. Half a car length separate, actually 1 car length separate our top 2. Gardner's trying to do everything he can to keep that 91 from taking a look down to the inside. So far, now that Jennings is in a little bit of dirty air, he's kind of fallen off a little bit, but here comes Jennings down, taking a look to the inside. Gardner defending up on the high side as they come off of turn number 4. Jennings is going to hold on to that top spot for now. We have 4 laps to go. We see a little damage on that 91 machine. Here comes McMahon down to the inside trying to take the second position away from Jonathan Jennings, and he's going to slide job that 91. Jennings is going to take a look back down to the inside as he crosses him over down the backstretch. It's exactly what Adam Gardner wants to see, as they are side by side for the second position off of turn number 4, door to door. Just 3 laps to go. And Adam Gardner is loving the view in his mirror right now as he sees these two side by side. And if he can keep them behind him for another 3 laps and claim victory, but here comes McMahon able to clear the 91 of Jennings. Lap traffic out in front. Can Gerber hold on for 2.5 more laps as they make their way down into turn number 3? Adam Gardner dispatches that lap traffic. It's going to stay up on the high side. That's the 11 of Clune. Just 2 laps to go. McMahon takes a look down to the inside. They're door-to-door, side-by-side for the lead. McMahon down on the inside. Gardner up on the high side. They are door-to-door down the backstretch, coming towards the white flag into turn number 3. Gardner trying to use that low lane, Gardner trying to use that high lane as he's going to slide down in front of McMahon, take the air off the nose of that truck. Here comes Jennings as the white flag is in the air. 1 lap to go. Jennings back to the inside. He gets around McMahon. That's exactly what Gardner wants to see, is those two continuing the battle it out as they are side by side off of turn number 2 and down the backstretch. Gardner trying to hold on for the win. McMahon and Jennings side by side, door to door, off of turn number 4. Adam Gardner is going to win here at Las Vegas as the contact is made as they go sliding across the line. McMahon and Jennings come home second and third. But how about this run for the 56 of Adam Gardner? Started back in the 10th position, able to climb his way up to the front, uses a little bit of strategy, and gets himself into victory lane here at Las Vegas. Wow, what a finish here tonight. As Adam Gardner's going to come down onto the front stretch, and he's going to celebrate his victory. He's going to get a little bump here from Stutzman. Adam Gardner, your winner here tonight, going to burn down that mystery machine right here at the start-finish line. What a run for the 56 of Adam Gardner. Let's take a look at our full results tonight. And again, Adam Gardner, your winner. Justin McMahon comes home in second. Jonathan Jennings in third. Steve Gerber comes home fourth. And Christopher Simon, your top five. Mike Sema brings it home in sixth. Kevin Powell back in seventh. Kevin Brown in eighth. Ricky Hudges and Tyler Millette round out your top 10. Todd Neese brings home 11th. Daniel Wilkerson back in 12th. Jeremiah Stutzman back in 13th. Mike Leftwich and Ricky Williams round out your top 15. Then Michael Dow, Jeffrey Wimmer, Gary Armio. Whoops, wrong button there. Gary Clune and Chris Leftwich round out the field here tonight at Las Vegas. Let's get ready to talk to our top three, starting with your third place finisher, Jonathan Jennings. Jonathan, you got Josh up in the booth. You got me?
Yes, sir.
Man, great run there for you and Justin McMahon. Battling side by side there at the end. I thought you were going to be able to run down Adam, and it looked like the battle between you two was able to let Adam kind of sneak away there. Was there a little strategy involved there? Because I know you came down on lap 26 and then again on 49. The other drivers lap 51. The other Adam came in a little bit earlier than you. Is that the difference, just coming in a little bit earlier, or did something else happen out on track?
No, just he had a good pit stop sequence and leaped us, and the time we had to make up when we got to him, the truck was real tight behind. Once you got right up to somebody, it's hard to make a move.
Yeah, it seemed like Gardner kind of came across your nose a little bit to take the air off the nose, really tightened up that truck. But that battle between you and McMahon at the end of the race, that was pretty intense. Walk us through those last few laps there.
I was just trying to get the best finish and just kept going at it. That was fun. They apologized for the contact coming to the line, but that was just trying to beat each other to the line, that's all.
Yeah, that was hard racing right there. I didn't see any issues with that from the booth, but man, great run for you here tonight, Jonathan. That's going to be a good points night for you, extending your points lead before we let you go here tonight. Anyone you want to thank? Any shout-outs you got to give?
Yeah, you guys for the broadcast. Adam, all my teammates. Adam on the win, Kevin, Hunter, all my teammates for the teamwork, and Justin on the good race there.
Awesome, man. Well, again, congrats on the podium here tonight, and we will see you next week, and good luck next week at Atlanta.
All right, thank you.
As your third place finisher, Jonathan Jennings. Let's bring in Justin McMahon. I told him Atlanta, it's Phoenix next week. My mistake. Justin, you got Josh up in the booth. You got me?
Yes, sir.
Man, what a run here tonight for you. Making up 12 spots. Kind of didn't have the best qualifying position. Kind of worked your way through the field. You really worked your way through the field on that first run and kind of made your way up to the front, battling there with Jonathan Jennings. First off, how were you able to drive through the field like that and still be able to maintain speed and save your tires to doing it?
I'm not really sure. Just a matter of just picking your moves, picking your spots, and when you want to make those moves, I guess, and put yourself in a position where you can set the guys up in front of you that are side by side when they're too wide, and you can allow yourself to utilize the whole track and kind of run your somewhat normal line why those guys are door to door and it's slowing their momentum down. So I think that has a lot to do with it. I was kind of just picking and choosing when and where I needed to go, I guess. But I don't know. Other than that, it was pretty interesting. That was a little sketchy there for the first couple laps with the whole checkup on the start, but it was a lot of fun. We had a blast.
I was going to say a lot of door-to-door action in front of you and around you, but a lot of door-to-door action there at the end of the race with Jonathan Jennings. That was an intense finish. First off, if you were able to cleanly get around Jonathan there, and I don't mean that like you got into him there, but if you were able to get around Jonathan Jennings just a little bit earlier, do you think you might have had something for Adam?
I mean, I did get by Jonathan there with a couple laps to go, and I thought I was going to be able to sneak by Adam going into one. I got down on the bottom on the inside of him, but there was a lap car that was preventing me from getting the entrance into turn one that I wanted. So Adam kind of pinched me down to the bottom a little bit, and I wasn't able to get any momentum off the corner, and he was able to get back by me, and then I just killed my momentum, and Jonathan came running right back by. I don't know. I don't know if it would have made a difference. I was happy with third either way. That was just a lot of fun racing with those two, and Jonathan and I we had talked, and we were saying, we're like, as long as we just don't wreck each other, and then sure enough, we wrecked coming across the line for second and third, but we wrecked coming across the line. It would be different if it was elsewhere, but I think there was a little bit of net code in that also. But I don't know. It was interesting. These trucks don't draft like I thought they would.
Yeah, for sure. But it was definitely an awesome race. It seemed like when you got the dirty air on the nose, it really washed the truck around. We saw we saw Gardner kind of run his truck across your nose a couple times to tighten you up. So, well, man,
Yeah.
still a great run here tonight. Before I let you go, Jess, anyone you want to thank? Any shots you got to give here tonight?
Yeah, Adam for the win. Great to see him win. Jonathan for being okay with us wrecking at the end there. It was a lot of fun. Daniel for putting on the lead and all the league, and all the guys in Loud Pedal Racing, and Group 6 Interactive for the sponsor on the truck, and you guys for doing the broadcast.
Awesome, man. Well, again, congratulations on that second place finish here tonight, and good luck next week at Phoenix.
Yeah, thank you.
So that was your second place finisher, Just McMahon. Let's bring in your winner here tonight, the driver of the 56, Adam Gardner. Adam, you got Josh up in the booth. You got me?
Gotcha, baby.
Man, what a run for you here tonight. Long time coming here in the Truck Series, and finally get that win. What a race, though. You kind of use a little bit of strategy to get yourself out in front, and you were making that truck as wide as possible. I know at one point you're looking in your mirror, you saw those two racing side by side, and that's exactly what you were hoping for, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, that was a lot of fun too, and huge shout out to both of them for racing me clean. I definitely didn't make it easy and held them tight there on the inside there late, and it wouldn't have taken much just to make a little slip and get into my left rear, but they held their lines really good, and it was fun, and honestly, even if I hadn't won it, it was still a lot of fun. But yeah, that's a long time coming, and definitely feel the relief, and nice little happy note to end the night with.
For sure. And you were showing a lot of speed. I mean, there was one point where McMahon, Jennings, and Gerber were all running nose to tail, kind of drafting together, and you're able to run them down. What was the difference there? Were they trying to save a little bit, you think, or were you just pushing as hard as you could? What was the difference there in that second segment there?
I think part of it was confidence. I know I had pitted a lap after everybody just so I could try to get that bonus points for leading the lap there before the first stop. And then when I came out, I expected to have lost a couple spots and saw that I'd actually picked up like 2 or 3 spots through the cycle. So it was a nice little bit of confidence there. And then we just ran the Road to Pro race here a couple weeks ago. And I went into that one with very high expectations because for some reason I just click with this track. And if it wasn't for a late yellow, then I probably would have gotten that one. I'm not going to say definitely because it didn't end, but confidence was very high in going into that race. So I think all those extra laps I put into that definitely helped for tonight. But I just took care of it that second run, really. I could have ran it wide open, but I didn't. So I would try to have some tire left. And I don't know. She just was happy tonight. We've seen many nights where she hasn't been for me.
That's for sure. Well, again, congrats on the win here tonight, Adam. Before we let you go, anyone you want to thank, any shots you got to give here tonight?
I got to give a shout out to the wife for letting me do this. Shout out to you guys up there for bringing it. Hopefully everybody enjoyed that. If that looked as much fun from you guys up top and everyone watching as it was from the seat, I'm sure that it was an entertaining show for everybody. Rogers Race Wraps for the beautiful paint job he sets me up with that I run no matter where I run, what series I run. It's always a Rogers Race Wraps trucker car, and I absolutely love them. and Daniel for putting us on, and just everybody for tuning in and showing up on the track. It was a blast tonight.
Awesome, man. Well, again, congrats on that win finally here on Tuesday night, and good luck next week at Phoenix. We hope to talk to you again soon.
Sounds good.
Have a great night.
You too.
So there's your winner, the 56 of Adam Gardner, getting it done here at Las Vegas. Again, tune in next week, same time as the Doghouse Racing League Tuesday Night Truck Series will be taking on Phoenix Raceway. Of course, don't forget to tune in after this one as the SCSRA Morris Customs Truck Series takes on Richmond International Raceway in their first race of their chase. So playoff racing about to start right after this one at Green Flag at 9:30. Of course, I want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight, whether you're watching on Facebook, on YouTube, or on Twitch. Don't forget to hit that like button and follow and subscribe. Let us know, hit that little notification bell so you know anytime we go live here on Intensity Broadcasting. Let's not forget about our great partners with the links down below, including Race EPI for all your iRacing coaching and setup needs, IntensityBroadcasting.com to support our channel, as well as Atlee Atman-Weiss' career, as he's got his racing gear up there as well. And of course, The Butt Kicker for all your gaming haptic needs. Visit thebuttkicker.com. That's going to do it here tonight for Intensity Broadcasting with the Doghouse Racing League. But again, don't forget to tune in about a half hour's time for that SCSRA race. And of course, as our boy Atlee Atman-Weiss would say, over